WOKB staff and management of Unity Broadcasting. All right. Yeah! You gonna learn today? Oh, it good.
I'm burnt right now. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired.
Got to help Joshua fight the battle of Jericho.
And off of the island and into the man cave, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's the Sports View with the crew. I'm Glenn Allgood.
I'm Chris Cuff.
I'm BDT. Welcome. And it's good to see you, gentlemen. Good to be back in flow with the show. I'm a visitor on my own show. I am a guest on my own show, but we're glad to be here, especially the day after the NBA draft. Listen, follow us on Twitter at WOKB1680 Sports. Follow us on Instagram at WOKB1680 Sports _view. Also, we give a shout out to Brother Gerille, and we'll have him back on Monday. Listen, we've got a lot to talk about on today. Of course, we've got the NBA draft on yesterday, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened with, or a lot about what happened with the Orlando Magic. We've got a blockbuster trade in the NBA, and I'm sure the great Glenn Allgood wants to give his feedback on the blockbuster trade. We've got some college football. The SEC made a decision. Aaron Rodgers signs his reworked contract. We've just got so very much to talk about. We got to talk about the Dodgers. I guess I have to mention the Yankees getting murdered on yesterday. But we've got so much that we've got to talk about. But listen, great Glenn Allgood, Chris Cuff. What's your real quick, your biggest sports story of the week?
Glenn, you want to go? Go ahead, Glenn.
My biggest sports story of the week is gotta be the one and the only, the GOAT, pulling out of the Olympics because of mental health reasons. She made a stand for herself. It was controversial to some, and some people had to work their way through it, but I love to see the support that came out from it. She made a stand. She did what she did.
Great.
I agree. Simone, I mean, gosh, it took so much courage for her to do that. A lot of people aren't saying that. They were just saying, it's strong that and talking about her mental health, but it took so much courage. You got the world hanging on you. You are the best ever. And then, going to get some Chinese food yesterday, and I'm listening to WOKB yesterday afternoon. And I hear people talking about Negroes, and yelling at the radio, and I couldn't believe it. But that was a good show. Good show yesterday, Bishop. But
really
shout out to Simone.
Oh man,
and
Bishop,
the U.S. Olympic.
What a stance Bishop had yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Really good.
My apologies for yesterday. I didn't show the greatest example of restraint.
It's okay. You didn't need to.
Passion is good.
Yeah.
But man, I think for me, and we're going to get right into it. I agree with you all. That's the biggest sports story of the week, but it is not the top story of today's show.
No.
It is not the top story of today's show.
Okay.
Listen, last night in the NBA draft, our hometown Orlando Magic took Jalen Suggs at 5 and Franz Wagner at number 8. Man, 2 lottery picks. I'll be honest, Chris Cuff, I did not have the confidence that we were going to manage these picks well. I'll be very honest. I thought I'd hoped that we would have packaged one of the picks and got some more talent. But also I got worried when Scotty Barnes went to Toronto at number 4. I got real nervous at that time. It's like, are they going to overthink this and mess this up? And so, Greg Glenn, Allgood, Christopher Cuff, thoughts on, we're going to get to the entire draft, but let's start with the Magic. What did you think of the Magic's drafting on yesterday?
Last night was magical. As soon as I heard that Toronto took Scotty Barnes, I jumped out of my seat. I'm like, don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up.
He's right there. I just knew they were going to say Zaire Williams. But no, they got the man. Now, I don't know if you caught a look at Jalen's face when they said the Magic. That got me a little worried. After that, everything was smooth, but the first look on his face was kind of like, what? I'm going where? But then y'all run into place.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Glenn, Allgood, what'd you think about?
I'm happy. I'm happy because you guys are happy. The Heat didn't have a pick last night.
Right.
We didn't have a pick last night in the last night's draft. Matter of fact, we haven't had a pick in 3 of the last 6 drafts. We haven't had a pick. But anyway, I'm happy when y'all are happy, and I knew this is who you wanted, Bishop. I knew because you said that y'all needed some shooting. You did say you said that y'all needed some shooting.
No,
this guy, Jalen,
he's not a shooter. He's a point guard.
So, but he was one of the ones that you would have been happy with.
No, I would have been happy with if the picks had gone to another team. Yeah. That's what I would have been happy with.
Yeah, me too.
So who did you want to trade for?
Me too.
I was happy with this. Here was my challenge.
Okay.
I didn't know why we were drafting Scotty Barnes. I am anti Florida State picks. And not because I'm a Gator fan, but because they haven't worked out. They just haven't worked out for the Magic. And I couldn't figure out. I watched Scotty Barnes a lot. I watched him at Montverde, and we'll talk a little bit about how special of a draft it was for Montverde Academy. But I watched Scotty Barnes at Montverde, loved him as a player, watched him at Florida State, and kind of watched him still trying to figure it out. And whether he was going to be the Draymond Green type of power forward, because Scotty Barnes played a lot of point guard at Florida State. And I couldn't figure out why we were drafting another point person. We have 3 point guards on the roster. This was pre-draft. 3 point guards on the roster. I couldn't figure out, Draymond Green works because he's got shooters to pass to. And I couldn't figure out what we were doing with Scotty Barnes. But then Scotty Barnes to Toronto made all the sense in the world. And then I'm like, okay, I know we got 3 point guards on the roster, but as far as a talent perspective, don't mess this up. Right. And so they got Jalen Suggs, gifted point guard out of Gonzaga, actually out of Minnesota as well. Went to high school in Minnesota. He was Mr. Basketball and Mr. Football in Minnesota, and he has that dog.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't let the light skin fool you. I know.
Yeah, I like that about
Glenn Allgood doesn't like light skinned people. Don't like the light skin. He's got that dog. So
I saw it.
We'll see that. I didn't see Franz Wagner play a whole lot. It was obvious that he had, more offensive skills than his brother. But we'll see what happens with that number 8. I was just hoping that, one of those picks would be packaged with a couple other players, because there are some major free agents out here and some other people. So that's what I was hoping for. To be honest, that's what I was hoping for. But let's go ahead and recap the draft. Let's go ahead and recap the draft and really the top 10 picks. And I want to ask you all a couple questions on that. Detroit didn't mess it up either,
Nope.
because up until yesterday afternoon, they were still deciding, but they didn't mess it up either. So you got Detroit choosing Cade Cunningham. And one of the great Glenn Allgood's favorite sideline reporters, Malika Andrews.
Oh God, did y'all see her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you see her, Bishop?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did. But one of the things that she dropped real quick was the nickname Motorcade. That was cool. She's going to the Motor City, and she called him Motorcade.
Motorcade.
That was cool.
That's
that
gonna
was
stick?
really, really cool.
I don't know.
That's Motorcade's gonna stick.
It's gonna stick?
Motorcade is going to stick, but that's what they took him number 1. The Houston Rockets, who need everything, took Jalen Green. And
is this the Jalen that you like?
Yeah, this kid can play.
This is the Jalen that you like.
This kid can play. This
Straight
kid
to the G
can.
League,
Yeah,
out of high
this
school,
kid can
and
play.
Yeah, he can play.
Let me ask you this, Chris, while we're there, while we're there with Jalen Green and Glenn as well. This was a draft that I felt a little funny about in the first round, because players like Jalen Green, because they were at G League Ignite, there were too many players I had never seen play.
Yes. Plus,
I'm used to seeing, if you're in the top 10, I've seen you play. But with G League Ignite, I've never seen these people play. Was that
also
strange for you guys?
That was very strange. Plus, I mean, the truncated tournament and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of these people I had not seen and didn't find out till the past few weeks, having to do research and stuff. Which we would have had more research if Aaron Rodgers hadn't popped up. But, everybody went to football, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, he's dominated everything. He's dominated everything. Glenn, I mean, these guys, I mean, we don't know them. We're used to knowing the top 5 players.
Yeah, and that's the day and age that we're living in as far as sports are concerned. And then, with the Olympics going on too, there was a lot of stuff overshadowing these young, these kids. So yeah,
well, I think the truncated season and the light, but when you have Jalen Green went number 2 at Houston. Evan Mobley, I saw him a couple times, but he's from USC. Didn't see a lot of West Coast games. I saw him, I think, twice. Of course, Magic.
He's a 7-footer.
Yeah, he's a 7-footer, and the first player ever in the Pac-10 to win Freshman of the Year, Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Now, of course, we understand that back when Kareem and Bill Walton and those guys were playing, freshmen couldn't play. So, so you have to take that particular thing with a grain of salt. Josh Giddey out of Australia went next, and then to OKC, and then at 7, Jonathan Kuminga, another G League Ignite guy, didn't see him. Didn't see him a lot as well. Magic pick up Franz Wagner. Then the Kings pick up that dog from Baylor, Davion Mitchell.
Mitchell.
I mean, if you watched him in the Final Four, man, man, that he played well. And then Zaire Williams, who was a top 5 guy coming out of high school, went to Stanford. We never saw him again, but he goes
He's
at
going
10.
to the Pelicans.
Goes to the Pelicans, and then the Spurs, in a surprise, take Josh Primo, who's like 17, 18 years old. He's the youngest person in the draft. And what's interesting, you had lottery picks. You had lottery picks who averaged under 10 points a game in their college career. Lottery picks. I think Josh Primo averaged like 8 points a game.
Wow.
You know, and he's a lottery pick. There's Moses Moody, and did you all hear Big Perk?
Oh, you go there.
Big Perk.
Big
Perk couldn't get this name out.
I saw that this morning.
It still amazes me when I see him.
Yeah,
like I said,
it still amazes me when I see him as an
analyst.
As an analyst. He is, but I mean, where did the weight come from, bro? Could you all tell that he was gonna be like that? You know,
I mean, nobody saw Kendrick Perkins being an analyst. And that's why you have to give shout out to him. Nobody saw Shaq being a pitch man.
Right.
That's true.
You know, we used to go to the games, and when Perk was at Boston, and Destiny would say, "Daddy, I'm scared of that man," because he used to always look so mean and you know, shout out to Perk for doing his thing, but Moses Moody, that name wiped him out on yesterday. And then the Wizards, who need everything, took Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga. And I know Glenn doesn't like us to use ethnic stereotypes.
No.
The boy can shoot. the boy can
I remembered
shoot.
him from Gonzaga.
The boy
he can
shoot. Sagoon out of Turkey. That's who I thought the San Antonio Spurs were going to take, because normally they take the top international guy that they can find and the like. And shout out to Trey Mann. I didn't think he was going. Trey Mann, point guard out of University of Florida. I didn't think he was going to go as high as 18. I thought he would go lower in the first round. I thought he'd go in the first round, but I thought he would go lower in the first round. And then the anomaly is the kid out of Duke at number 20, Jalen Johnson. Remember the kid who stopped playing, who opted out of the season at Duke? He opted out of the season, and everybody was giving him the business. And like, that's that kid. That is that kid. And so, man, not a whole lot to talk about. We will talk about it a little bit on Monday, but not a whole lot to talk about in the second round. But hey, second round has been good to a lot of teams. Draymond Green is a second round player. I was trying to look to see who the Magic was getting in the second round, and I didn't see a whole lot. I was concerned, and Chris, I wanted to get your take on this, because you're more knowledgeable than about the local stuff than we are. The kid who's from Orlando, and who knows, Glenn may have done his draft party or something, I don't know. But the kid out of Orlando,
Anthony.
No, not you did his, but the Preston kid who played for Ohio, who that we drafted, but traded to the Clippers.
The Clippers.
Did you know anything about this kid?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but he's from Orlando, and Glenn will love this. Great story. Averaged 2 points a game in high school. His senior year in high school, he averaged 2 points a game, and then went to prep school after high school. Only had before he went to prep school, only had I think a D2 offer, went to prep school, and ended up putting his highlights on Twitter. And that's how he got the look at Ohio, played well in the tournament, and now he's with the Clippers.
Yep.
You know,
goes to show you
a game in high school.
That's it.
In
just
high
two.
school. 2. 1 2. 1 2. And now you're playing with the Clippers. What's up, Kelvin? Kelvin said, yeah, Shondi Brown, also from Orlando, went undrafted, but we'll see. He's going to be free agent with the Lakers. Went to Dr. Phillips. Orlando showed well yesterday. Orlando showed well.
Good basketball being played here. Yeah.
Mont Verde had 4 people in the first round.
Wow.
4 people.
It's a basketball factory.
They had 6 people in the draft, and somebody corrected. I think it was Jay Billis. Jay Billis says that Mont Verde is not a high school; it's a prep school.
Yeah.
He says, you know, a high school, people grow up together and go from middle school to that high school. It's like, no, they fly out from all over the country to go to this school. It's not a high school, it's a prep school. But shout out to Orlando's own Mont Verde. Made history. 6 people. 6 people.
6. That's a lot.
In the draft. Listen, it's 10:22. You're listening to Sports View with the crew, and I'm BDT. We've got the great Glenn Allgood, and we've got Chris Cuff, and we're talking about the NBA right now. And we can't talk about the NBA today without talking about a blockbuster trade that happened on yesterday. A blockbuster trade. Glenn Allgood's Los Angeles LeBrons, because he's not a Laker fan, he's a LeBron fan. Glenn Allgood's Los Angeles LeBrons pulled a big trade on yesterday. The Los Angeles LeBrons, and I'm only calling them that for the sake of the great Glenn Allgood.
Right, those are my guy. LeBron is my guy.
Because it's actually disrespectful to the Laker franchise. And for those
they don't mind it. They don't mind it.
Yeah,
they don't mind it. They don't mind it at all.
No, yeah, they do, because they have 16 championships
they don't mind at all.
that LeBron's not a part of.
Being recognized
so
LeBron does not make
LeBron does not make the legacy of the Lakers. The Lakers actually help. They trust me, they mind. They mind.
Okay.
They mind. So I'm sorry to all the Laker fans for having on this show right now to call them the Los Angeles LeBrons. But great Glenn Allgood. You like the trade?
This trade is interesting. This trade is interesting.
That's elocution. Can I get a direct answer to the question? That's a lot of circumlocution right there.
Yeah.
Y'all should see his face. Y'all should see his face.
I can't say that I do.
Let's look at the components of the trade. The trade, the Los Angeles Lakers trade KCP, Kyle Kuzma, and Montrezl Harrell, and the 21st pick, last night's 21st pick for Brody, the one and only Russell Westbrook. Glenn Allgood, I'm going to ask you again. What do you think about the trade?
I think that Russell comes in with all of his greatness, NBA MVP at one time, but I think they're going to have to work on the chemistry. I don't know if he tarnishes the image of the great LeBron James.
Oh God, are you out your mind?
He tarnishes the image of the great LeBron James, and it's going to take LeBron to take this great player that he is and try to rein in this guy, because Chris says that he had a good shooting percentage last year. I don't think so much. And as a player,
for Russ is relative.
I mean,
okay,
he still was killing it with triple doubles towards the end of the year.
He wasn't the same Russell Westbrook that LeBron needs right now. And Bishop, I saw the smile on your face, and you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, he gone.
No, here's what
I saw the smile on your face. You know
Can
exactly
I give you
what
the
I'm
reason
talking
for
about.
the smile? Can I give you the reason for the smile?
What?
Because in our comments, Dr. Kim out of Indianapolis, Dr. Kim says because the reason that Glenn is hesitant is because it makes LeBron look like the ring chaser that he is. That was the reason for my smile.
Yes.
That was the reason for my smile.
Hi, Dr. Kim. I miss you too, Dr. Kim. LeBron is not a ring chaser. Listen, Russell is Russell is going to LA. LeBron doesn't have to play this year. LeBron is a billionaire with the B, Bishop.
What does that have to do with basketball?
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen, Cufferson? What's going to happen in the Valley, in Los Angeles? This great experiment is going to go forth. And LeBron is they're going to fix each other, add a little bit of AD in, and poof, you got championship all over again in LA.
I just know in our nation's capital, they're very happy. Bradley Beal is happy. They dumped all that dead cap room with Russell Westbrook.
Russ is not the same player.
They can get Bradley some help.
Yeah.
DC is going to be in good shape. They're going to keep Bradley at least the next couple of years, I think.
And what's interesting about that, Chris, is that he doesn't want to leave.
No,
he doesn't want to leave. Now they got
I don't get that. Bradley Beal doesn't want to leave.
I don't either. But he doesn't want to leave. He wants his jersey retired in DC. He wants, so
how about a ring?
Huh?
How about a championship trophy?
Well, let's put it this way. Adam Morrison has a ring.
You know what? When you said that, all I remember was that he played for Gonzaga. Right?
And that's all there is to remember because he did nothing in the NBA.
Yeah,
but Adam Morrison has a ring.
Yep.
So and the challenge is, we just saw, the cards fall in the right space for a player to stay with his home team and to win a championship. And sometimes the cookie crumbles your way.
Oh, you're talking about Giannis.
The cookie crumbles your way. And we had a situation where we had all kind of injuries and all that kind of stuff and who knows what can happen later in the East if Washington gets some better players. Who knows?
Who knows?
But you got to celebrate them because everybody, it's
is injury prone.
So I want to hear how you, DDT, feel this trade is going to go.
I don't know.
Will Russell work in LA?
I don't know. To bring Brother Gerille into the show for a minute, but just for different reasons. I'm going to use his language, but just for my reasons. Okay. I don't care. I don't care. But as a basketball analyst and commentator, I don't see this working. I don't see this working. They don't have they only have, unless they do a sign and trade for Schroeder, they only have a couple of $5 million mid-level exceptions left to get shooting. And right now they have no shooting. None. And so I just don't think I don't see it. And Windhorse said something interesting this morning. Windhorse said that in order for this to work, you need Russ at the 1, LeBron at the 4, and AD at the 5.
Yeah, they said AD definitely has to work the 5.
He says the problem is LeBron hates playing the 4 and AD hates playing the 5. So I just don't understand. Now, the other trade, let me see, Glenn, how you feel about this, since, this is, of the three of us, this is the closest to being your team of any of us.
Really, Bishop?
What the other trade that was on the table was Montrez and Kuzma for Buddy Hield.
Yes.
Would you have preferred the Buddy Hield trade to get the shooting?
Yes. Plus, he's Bahamian.
Okay.
I like Buddy Hield.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always liked him. Yeah.
So let me ask a question that I already have the answer to. It's 10:31 right here on Inspiration 1680 WOKB. You're listening to Sports View with the crew. If the Lakers don't go to the finals, are you, Glenn Allgood, going to blame it on Russ?
Absolutely. Everybody's going to blame it on Russ. Everybody's going to, yeah. He's throwing off the chemistry already.
The team really doesn't have a whole lot of chemistry, to be honest.
They don't. But this is really going to, it just doesn't, you can't see how they complement each other. You can't see how they fit.
Yeah.
It's weird now. Russ
is best when he can run.
Yep.
This is going into LeBron's 18th, 19th season?
Yes.
He ain't trying to do all that running.
He ain't trying to do all that.
So I don't know what they're doing. They're smarter than me. But I don't care.
Really?
I don't care.
I love it. I love it.
Spoken like a true Magic fan.
Yeah. I
spoken like a true Magic believer.
I won't care if they go 0-82.
Magic above everything. I don't believe y'all. Y'all are such homers. You and Cuff and Gerille.
I don't care. I don't care. Listen, we got a couple other things, and we'll come back and analyze some more about the draft. But a couple other top stories. The SEC voted unanimously. That was a surprise. The SEC voted unanimously to invite Texas and Oklahoma into the SEC. I thought at least Texas A&M would give them a nay, but they voted unanimously. Fellas, this is a whole lot of money.
Man.
This is a whole lot.
Oh my God.
It's a whole. Texas already has its own network. So you're bringing that oil money from both Texas and Oklahoma. You've got Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia. This is a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and it's very, very, very attractive. It's a no-brainer.
Glenn is excited about this. He loves shiny things. He loves shiny things.
This is a great football conference, Bishop. You know it.
It's
you as a Gator look forward to the competition, and that's what it's all about. It's a spectacular group of colleges put together. This is a strong conference. The SEC.
I just say, just call it the SEC. Don't call it the Southeastern Conference, because half of them are not in the Southeast.
Because I was like, Missouri, what is that? What were they doing?
Yeah, it's no longer the Southeast. And the question now, what becomes of everyone else?
Do you keep Vanderbilt? Do you keep teams like Vanderbilt?
South Carolina, Vanderbilt,
Did they
You know,
say it?
Vanderbilt keeps the grade point average up.
Absolutely.
In the conference. That's the
Really?
only
you
reason
got
they're
the,
there.
you got the
Yep.
brainiacs at Vanderbilt.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Love the way that's gonna look though.
So they're talking about breaking up the Big 12 now.
Well, they're now back down to the Big 8. And I mean, let's look at it, Chris. You've got the Big 12 without Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you invite
Bad for
Cincinnati?
UCF? I mean,
Do you invite Cincinnati? Do you invite UCF? What do you do? So it's interesting. But right now, unless there is a Pac-10 Big 10 merger, no conference will be able, as far as star power, to be able to stand up
To the SEC.
To the SEC.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's a super conference.
Yeah.
they are, and Dr. Kim is right that they're gonna have to drop the numbers. You know, they're gonna have to. You're talking 8 teams in a division.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And this is the year that these kids are going to get paid, Bishop.
Name, image,
For
and
their
likeness,
images. Name, image, and likeness.
which you struggle so much with.
Listen, I don't understand the quarterback of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Already, Chris, he hasn't taken a snap in a game, and he's almost earned $1 million, Bishop.
Why
My
are you
question is-
struggling with that?
Because we're giving you an education. We're giving you a secondary education. We're giving you the education of your life.
Do you know how much money they're making for the school?
Right.
We're
compared to
giving
that
you the education of your life, Cupperson.
Millions and millions.
Great Glenn Allgood.
Free. It's called a scholarship.
Great Glenn Allgood.
It's called a scholarship.
The top 5 institutions: Alabama, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Texas, that they're worth over $100 million. The football programs are worth over $100 million. $100 million on the backs of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And you are talking to me about a scholarship?
Scholarship.
Okay. Chris.
Scholarship. And they give him a stipend. Give him a stipend or something.
Chris.
Give him a stipend or something. Bishop, we had stipends.
Chris.
When we went to school, you had a stipend.
Yes, sir.
When you were in school at Butler.
Chris.
100 million?
I went to Bradley. You always say Butler. I went to Bradley. Chris, let me show you. I love this guy, but we don't have a whole lot of time. It's only an hour show. Let me show you the inconsistency of the Great Glenn Allgood's argument. Great Glenn Allgood.
Go, yeah.
So let's say your grandson is the top wide receiver in the nation, and he goes to Alabama, Florida, LSU, Texas, Ohio State. So now, how do you feel about name, image, and likeness?
I'm gonna tell him, boy, go get all you can get. All you can get. I tell him, aim for the Wheatie box. Aim for the Wheaties box, son.
Scholarship.
Aim for the Wheaties box.
What happened to the scholarship?
Yeah,
that's a part of it. But I mean, it'll take this new year. People that thinking that old way, like Glenn, I can.
What
sometimes.
Happened to scholarship with your
There's
grandson?
none. There's scholar take it all. But I'm with it. I'm with it. Those kids should make they should be compensated for the massive amounts of money that they generate for these.
And in many cases,
massive.
When you read what happens, many of those kids graduate already of having 5-6 surgeries.
Yep.
I mean, you remember Tua gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
they take him from the field to surgery.
Yeah.
From the field. Now, here's why I got a greater understanding of that. My son is a sophomore. He had a tear in his patella. He had a tear in his patella tendon.
Mm-hmm.
He was out for 3 months. One of the reasons he was out for 3 months is because we were trying to avoid surgery. They took Tua from the field straight to surgery. There was no, let's see if this is going to heal and he comes back next year. No, from the field to surgery that he could be out for only 3 weeks. And you're talking about a scholarship. But yet, Chris, did you hear?
In the classroom, so you'll have a profession when you get out of here.
Their profession is football.
Their profession is football.
And did you hear him, Chris?
Tell his plays.
Grandson, get all you can get.
Go to the Wheaties box.
Shoot for the Wheaties box.
So let's say, Glenn.
It's different when it's yours.
Let's say your grandson is Bryce Young.
Okay.
He's at a confirmed 800,000. He has another couple 100,000 that he hasn't accepted yet that would take him over $1 million.
Wow.
Okay. But grandpa talking to him about going to class, right?
And see, this is the thing.
He didn't answer the question.
No. So what do you do? How is it going to look for the student athlete that makes that kind of money? Because it's not only in football, but all college sports, they're going to have this the name, image, likeness. Yes. And so
I feel sorry for some of the kids.
Ready to change.
I feel sorry for some of the kids because
priorities are going to be
not just
skewed.
Priority, but their family's going to pimp them.
Wow, Bishop. Yeah,
their family is going to pimp them.
Yes,
absolutely.
Their family is going to pimp them. And
so basically, capitalism is being introduced into college football, college sports.
And now it's high school because Mikey Williams has signed a name, image, and likeness, and he's still in high school. And they're saying it's going to be a big deal with SUNY because and so we'll see what happens. A couple other things. Aaron Rodgers signs his reworked contract. They eliminate his last year. He fixes it so that they cannot recoup any signing bonus. He's going to be played this 1 year, and he's going to be out. Glenn Allgood, is that too much power to a player?
Absolutely. I grew weary of Aaron Rodgers, this Aaron Rodgers story. I don't know if it was just me, but I used to like him. And by the end of the summer, or by the middle of the summer, which it is, I don't like him so much. It's like, go away or do something, go play. Because we're, the late people, we're not understanding what they're yammering about, what the spat is really all about. And so we're left.
Well, he said in his press conference, he gave all, and
he did.
And Chris and I know,
press conference.
Chris and I know that sports media, especially in press conferences, is a very controlled game. Mm-hmm. There's an unwritten rule that we have to ask them very controlled questions, and they are trained to give very controlled answers.
Okay.
He broke all those rules a couple of days ago.
Okay. So, but still, I'm glad he's back. When you say Aaron Rodgers, to me, you always think of the Packers. So he wouldn't even look right if he went somewhere. So I'm glad he stayed. And
he got Randall Cobb back too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like got him out. It's like get him back. Listen, it's 10:45. We've got about 10 minutes left. Listen, I want to look at our draft analysis, and we will blend what's your view. So Chris Cuff, what's your view? Surprise pick of the NBA draft.
Surprise pick. Zaire going
Zaire.
so soon.
Zaire Williams.
Went soon.
Steal of the draft, Chris.
Steal of the draft. I think.
Come on, is there somebody at the door?
I heard it now.
Come on in. Hey.
I'm looking at the list here. The guy from Turkey, I think.
Sezun?
Sengun, yeah. Because he's supposed to be like a superstar.
He's supposed to be nice.
He's supposed to be one of the best players overseas.
Yeah.
And they got him number 16 for OKC, who had a ton of picks. Oh my gosh!
And they still got a ton of picks. They got some more picks last night. Glenn Allgood, who had the best draft?
Who had the best draft? The Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic got a player, young player who can easily be a superstar in this league. He's going to be good.
Okay,
Jameson, and he's commanding too. So I don't know. I don't know. What are you guys going to do with all your guards?
That's the thing that we're going to talk about in a minute. Is we've got 4 point guards right now.
Yeah. So y'all have a really good player.
You and since Glenn has brought it up, we might as well go there.
Chris,
what moves do we still have to make
after we get rid of Mo Bamba?
I mean, I know that's the first move, but
are y'all kicking Mo out?
Yeah.
Just like that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, here's how we're kicking Mo
what
out.
happened? What happened?
Remember you remember on Fresh Prince when they would throw Jazz out?
Yeah.
Uncle Phil would toss Jazz out the front. Yeah. That's pretty much
the new guy you said was a player development coach. Come on. You spent Mo Bamba was one of your first round picks. The new guy you just hired, you said was Jamal. I'm sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful. Jamal is a player development coach. Bishop, you said it.
Here's the
develop this guy.
Here's the problem. The issue is motor. You can't give a guy want to. You know, some people play basketball because they can, and they can be a millionaire doing it. Mm-hmm. Some people play basketball because they want to be one of the best, and they want to do whatever it takes to win, and that takes effort. And you just don't see that in Mo Bamba. There were glimpses of it late when he was actually, actually the week when Coach came, there was some video on Instagram where Mo was actually posting up. Yeah. He was actually posting up and dunking the ball off the post. And so I will agree with Glenn that Magic player development has been poor. I don't know what our assistant coaches have been doing over the last 10 years, but Orlando Magic player development has been really, really, really poor. So maybe something changes right now. Glenn.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and that'll be really good if it does. But and I was just sitting there thinking, what do you guys think Mo Bamba would rather do? Computer science?
I don't think it's a matter of rather. It's a matter of
really smart, intelligent young man.
I can do this and be a multimillionaire and travel and do whatever I want and have 3 months off and all of that and still, do what I do. It's just, I don't know. But right now it does, we don't have a lot of size. We don't have a lot of size. You've got Wendell Carter Jr. And you've got Mo. That's all the size we have right now.
Yeah.
Chris, who do we move? Which guards do we move? We got to move. I say we got to move 2 of the point guards.
Well, now you're talking the main point guards. You're talking Markel, RJ. Gary Harris.
Well, Gary's a 2. Gary's a 2. I think we
Okay.
keep 2. I'm talking now. You've got Suggs, Markel, RJ, and Cole.
And we got
Those
MC Dub.
and MCW, who's a combo guard. But
He's a combo guard.
you've got 4 point guards.
I'm really thinking RJ.
Yeah.
RJ. He's developing, but he's not. I don't know, man. It'll be a long term.
Man, that's hard, bro. Markel, Suggs, and Cole.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And
That's
2 of those
nice.
are dogs.
That's
2 of those are
nice.
dogs.
That's nice, but
That's what we
bro.
need.
So
That
those
is
are the
nice.
3 you want to keep. You want to keep.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, Chris and
Yeah.
Glenn. You keep
Uh-huh.
Markel, you keep Suggs, you keep Cole
Yeah.
Anthony off
Keep Cole.
That's right.
Now here is,
Absolutely.
but the reports are that RJ's upside is huge. Those are the reports.
Are we seeing it?
Well, he was only here half a season. Let me ask this question. For basketball reasons, not for player attachment reasons. Can either of you see any way that in order to get some better players, that the magic package is Markel?
Yep. Depends on who we get, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't know who's coming back.
Unfortunately.
I don't know when he's coming
Yeah.
back, because that's a long term.
Yeah.
That's a long term injury.
Either Markel or Jonathan Isaac.
J.I. is just coming back.
I didn't think you all would say
Yeah.
we could lose Markel. That would be hard for me. That would be hard for me from a player attachment.
Outside of that.
No.
And of the attachment, but here's the other problem though. The problem though is that if you have a starting backcourt of Suggs, you got to bring Cole off the bench. He can't be the starter because he's coming to shoot. He's coming to shoot.
Yeah. Fine. I love that already.
But no, you're too small from a defensive perspective.
But quick. So we'll see what happens.
No, you're too small. Guards are gonna post us up left and right. See, when we think of players, we got to be honest. When we think of players, we think of offense. That's all we think of is offense. But if you have RJ's 6'2"? How tall is RJ Hampton?
RJ is 6'4".
6'4". I knew he was okay. So you've got RJ at 6'4", you got Markel at 6'4", but then Suggs is 6'3", I think. And then Cole is little.
6'2". Yeah.
So Suggs is 6'2", Cole is 6'2". You got to keep one of those 6'4" guards.
Yeah.
You got to keep one of them. I say you package RJ, Isaac, and Mo Bamba to get some better players.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I'm just sitting there. What if you don't get any take? What if you, I'm sorry. And if you guys shop Markel, that would be dirty. That'd be really dirty.
How is that dirty though?
Because the dude came and see, when you said you used the word attachment, and I don't think there is an attachment.
I have an attachment to Markel.
No, because he hasn't. No, you guys don't. No, it's almost like yesterday on Beaver Better, you were saying we don't care. There's a part of you two guys that don't care.
I would struggle.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I would struggle. We would have to win.
That would be 30 of y'all.
We would have to win big. I would struggle if we lost Markel, and I'll be honest.
Don't do him like that.
It's strictly player attachment.
Yeah, we were crushed when he got hurt. Man.
Crushed, because he was finally. You're talking
He's
about.
finally coming around
You're talking
and
about
showing leadership skills.
You're talking about a kid who averaged 23 points a game in
Yeah.
college.
He was bad. He was the number one pick
Yeah.
of the Sixers. They didn't pick him number one
And
for
then he couldn't
nothing.
lift his arm over his head.
I don't know what happened.
Right.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
And then you see him out there.
Oh, Bishop, I just thought about Simone. I just thought
the
about
magic
Simone.
floor.
I just thought about Simone. Is there a correlation?
None.
No.
No, there is. There's some
None.
kind of
No.
None.
Simone
Some
said,
mental
I'm gonna
thing.
stop. Simone said, I don't care what y'all say.
I don't care
For
what
me,
y'all.
I'm stopping.
some type of mental thing. They said
No.
some mental thing was going on with his shot.
No, he was
No,
injured
it
as
was
the
well.
mechanics of his shot.
It was
With the
injured.
mechanics of his shot.
And with-
medical.
And my wife brought up a good point. She said, yesterday you said that with the twisties that Simone, could break her ankle. And she's like, no, she could break her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You're 10 feet in the air twisting around and you don't know where you are.
Right.
She could break her neck. So that's listen, we got to get out of here. A couple things really, really quick. We'll finish analyzing the Magic roster moves on Monday. We'll also I believe that there are going to be some trades over the weekend that we'll have to analyze. This was the funniest thing I saw. We'll close. The funniest thing. You all remember Lean on Me? When did y'all see that meme yesterday? When Joe asked the kid, "You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you?" And then the kid finally said, "Yes." They played that. And the kid was the Sixers, because the Sixers asked Golden State for Wiggins, Wiseman, both of their draft choices last night, and 2 more first-round draft choices.
And that was their
Ben
response.
Simmons. And their response was, "You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack."
Yes.
Listen, we got to get out of here. Glenn, close us out.
Listen, man, join us each and every Monday and Friday at 10 o'clock right here on WOKB Radio. It's the Sports View with the Crew. Follow us on Twitter. It's WOKB 1680 AM Sports on your 3-time Stellar Award-winning station. Bishop, what are you doing for the weekend?
Resting.
Oh,
No, I've got to be in Tampa tomorrow doing a women's conference. So I'll be in Tampa tomorrow doing a women's conference.
Jefferson, what about you?
Got a business conference tomorrow morning at Crossover Church.
Man,
Awesome.
I'm going to be headed over to Meacham L. Clark and Company's live experience at Majestic Life. It should be really good. Bashawn Mitchell,
Wow.
Miranda Curtis, Pastor Lamar Simmons out of Tallahassee. It should be really good. WOKB is going to be in the thick of it too, man. We'll be right there representing. Until next Monday, join us same time, same station right here on the Sports View with the Crew. I'm Glenn Allgood.
I'm Chris Cuff.
I'm BDT.
See ya.